Time to check in with our lizard overlords. What are they up to? Well, this.
Is this the worst hour now?
Are we done our first hour?
Yeah, we're into our worst hour now.
Keep your expectations of this episode low. Starting the worst hour now, I feel like we've crossed into like maybe not great content hour.
Welcome to our worst hour.
I read this thing that the average car seat crosses the border like 6 times before it gets installed in the car. And I was like, they're like, oh, the tariffs are going to kill the car seats. I'm like, is no one else looking at this going, why the fuck is a car seat crossing the border 6 times? Like, fuck the tariff problem. There's a bigger logistical problem when you can't build a car seat and then install it in the car. When it needs to cross the border over and over again, what are you doing with these fucking car seats that they need to go across? That's the bigger problem here to me, not the fucking tariff. Fuck the tariff. That's like whatever. But like, why is a car seat crossing the border that many times? Honda's already moving its Honda Civic plant to Illinois. They announced it today from Mexico. They're pulling out of Mexico and they're putting their Honda Civic plant in Illinois to get to. Anyways, we needed. I ordered them. Well, I told the guy to go ahead and ask for a schedule, but I needed. I feel like we're going to end up with 5 G's worth of tires that we have to buy just to certify everything.
Oh,
Like,
great.
I don't mind. I like the idea of having fresh tires on everything and not having to be like, oh, that one's going to wear it in July. I kind of like the idea of like everything we own will have really good tires on it going into the spring so that maybe this isn't a problem till next spring. Cody might need a couple front drives, like front steers. She might need a couple front steers, but halfway through the year. But other than that, we should be good.
How do you know? Just by looking at the wear on them?
I said to Brad, what tires here won't certify? And he put big X's on them. And then I ordered them. Well, I sent a list of what we needed to replace to Cody. And then Cody went around and got pricing. And then I emailed the guy today to confirm that these are the trucks, the truck numbers. These are how we want the tires situated. But I look at tires and I struggle with it too. So Brad was in the yard getting our international triaxle ready for certification. And I said to him, hey, can we just walk around and can we just look at all these tires and you tell me what's going to cert and what isn't? And so he put X's on some and he put something else on the other one saying this is the this one will keep as a spare in the yard, and these ones are anyways. All 8 of Cody's are garbage they're not garbage, like they would pass. Like if she got pulled over, they're not on the wear bars or anything, but they're probably not going to pass safety. So we got to put 8 drives on hers.
Yikes.
They were $305 a tire. So just the back drives on hers is $2,400.
Tires and batteries, man. They'll eat up your spare money quick.
And we buy a lot of tires and a lot of batteries.
We'll buy a lot of batteries.
Yeah, we go through a lot of. But that's the game, right? You want to have 5 trucks on the road. You got to, 5 big trucks. You got to fix them. There ain't no way about it.
Yeah.
Are you going to go to the Ottawa showcase, Jen?
I thought about it, but I think it's in March break, and I want to spend some time with my kids, so I don't know if I'll go. Let me look it up, actually. When is it?
Well, it's going to, like, the one Mike and I are going to is Friday, right, Mike?
Yeah.
So they would probably be in Ottawa the next week, which is March break. You're right.
Yeah.
Because Ottawa isn't Ottawa and Quebec sort of closing out the season for them? Isn't that kind of where they wrap it up?
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's where the winter lasts the longest, I guess, in Quebec. Or maybe all their stuff ends up back at. I don't know. It's probably lasts longer there than fucking Nashville.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. In Alberta, they're fucking working. There's no snow there.
There's
Really?
no snow in Alberta right now.
Well, in some spots. Someone sent me a picture. It's like, this is what it looks like here. And there's no snow. And there's fucking 2 feet of snow in my driveway.
Wow.
So,
You can't see grass yet?
no, no, Jesus, no.
Wow.
Everything is blanketed with a lot of snow here.
The snow here is almost all gone.
Oh, no, I got at least 2 weeks of melt before I can even see grass, let alone dig in it.
We're going away. And if you hear this podcast and you're saying, "Oh, they're going away, I'm going to rob their house," first of all, there's nothing in our house that you would want. Secondly, we have a huge fucking dog that will eat you, so don't come and rob our house. She will 100% bite you and 100% eat you. So, if you're listening to the podcast planning on robbing the house between the 12th and the 16th, I recommend you don't for that reason. Fair warning: if I come home and my dog has bit you, don't call the cops on me.
It's Canada. You'd probably get,
Yeah, you'd get sued.
I'd probably get sued and go to jail.
yeah. If your dog bit someone while you were gone,
Do you
you
see
go-
in British Columbia now, the NDP government made it illegal to release footage of people shoplifting to try and find who they were because it's an invasion of privacy to release footage of people committing crimes now.
wow,
Really?
my goodness.
Yeah. Did you see in Boston where a crazed knife wielding maniac was trying to stab two people in a Chick-fil-A and an off-duty cop shot the person and the person died, and the Boston mayor's number one priority was to apologize to the family of the person that got shot? And then all her like people around her gave a bunch of press conferences apologizing to the people. Like, I'm like, what are you and on the flip side of that, there's been a whole bunch of stuff in Boston because ICE is coming to Boston to start cleaning out the illegal immigrants in Boston. And all these Boston people are like, don't come to Boston, we'll fuck you up. I'm like, you just apologized for killing a guy that was trying to murder two people. Like, you can't have it both ways. Like, either like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, anyways. I don't know what I got off track there. That's easy though. I fucking ran way off track with that.
Mm.
Oh, so when we get back, I'm hoping that we're gonna start that week, not on Monday. I'm not super like in the past, in my younger days, I would have been back Sunday, start Monday. Now I'm like back Sunday, start Tuesday. Because I'm smarter.
Hmm.
I'm older and smarter. Back Monday. But I'm hoping we can, Jack and I are trying to make a list of things that we can accomplish.
See, I would say I'm back Monday. The guys can start Monday. I'll start Tuesday. Here's a list of things that need to be done.
Well, I already have people doing on the list of things that need to be done though.
Okay.
I'm talking about a full blown like let's go out and go to a job site kind of start.
Oh,
Let's float some equipment. That's why I put a harsh deadline on trailer renovations and fucking we got it. All this shit needs to be fucking certified, ready to go. I kind of put a
we're gonna start taking things in next week for certification, and everything needs a cleaning, degreasing, re-greasing, fluid top up, everything. We haven't done a single.
what do you do about all your machines for servicing? How do they get serviced? Like who services the Hitachi?
Uh, we make sure all the fluids are topped up. What else is there to service? We grease it.
Well, you got to change the oil, change all the filters, change the
Yeah, when
hydraulic
it's
filters, change the fuel filter. Well, I'm saying, how do you do how do
It'll-
you handle that? Is what I'm saying.
We'll get a heavy equipment mechanic in to do that stuff. We won't fuck around with the big stuff, but we'll do like the little shovels, change oil on little shovels, and all the Packers. God knows the last time they had their oil changed. Like they're all due. We probably need new Packers. One of them has been sitting out in the snow all winter, which I don't know why it's been sitting out in the snow, but
How much is that Packer worth?
we paid 8 grand for it when it was new.
That's probably a great place for it. Out in the
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue with you. It's an awful place for it. Don't know why it never got put away, but maybe it's because doesn't, it either doesn't go forward or it doesn't go back right now.
Well, if it's fucked up, the best thing to do is to leave it out in the snow, get it more fucked up.
It'll learn its
Gotta go
lesson
in
that
and
way.
teach it a lesson. I like that you get in a loader and it doesn't immediately do $125,000 loader, and it doesn't immediately do what you want. So you're like, fuck this loader, it's out the door. But a Packer doesn't reverse. You're like, oh, let's just keep it in the snow and try to find someone to fix it. Like, like
Yeah.
let's buy a $160,000 loader on a whim because this one won't do exactly what I want for the first time ever.
You know what? The loader is
There's
coming.
memories with that Packer.
The loader is coming from the
Yeah.
same people who deal whacker. So I'm gonna say throw in a new fucking Packer in this deal.
There you go.
Take this old one out of here. It doesn't work anyway. It's
I'm
out of
trading
the
it.
loader.
I'm trading in this loader and this Packer that's been out in the snow all winter. When that snowbank melts, the Packer will start to slowly reveal itself.
Yeah.
We've been plowing snow on top of it all winter.
Every time there's a strong wind, you can see the handle on the Packer fucking bouncing back and forth.
Should try to work some kind of combo deal.
Yeah.
The problem is that $8,000 Packer is probably worth 30 grand now.
No, it's a 400-pound gas Packer. The expensive thing on a diesel Packer is the diesel motor,
Yes. Yeah.
right? So, like the most expensive gas Packer doesn't even touch the cheapest diesel Packer. And the diesel Packers just hit so much harder. So, it's a
Do you
good
think they
mix.
have a higher centrifugal force because it's diesel?
Something I don't know the numbers, but I'm absolutely positive that the smallest diesel Packer hits harder than a big gas Packer.
I wonder if that's true. I don't know. I'm not protesting it at all. It could be true.
My personal experience, that's it. Can't tell me different.
Like you,
Are
when
you good?
you ran the biggest gas packer and then used the centrifugometer thing and measured the packing capabilities, and then, or you're just saying from the when I hold it and I feel the vibration.
When I hold it, and whenever I
When I do my
stick
little
boot
heel,
in the ground there,
yeah, I do my
I-
little heel test. I got
Yeah.
my fucking heel test going on. I can tell you, diesel
yeah.
pack's better, bitch.
Yeah.
Diesel pack's
Absolutely.
fucking better.
I don't need tight pants, tight ankles, and a nuclear thermometer fucking test in the ground. I can tell you by stomping my foot.
You're. This is good. Go for
This
it.
is good.
This is
Doesn't go over there. This is packed hard enough.
this is fucking packed.
Yeah.
This is good enough.
Yeah.
We haven't had any residential leads come in. Although this was an interesting. So Christy took her truck to Kenworth and they put a block heater in it because it didn't come with a block heater. And Brad was super busy. So
It didn't come with a block heater, or it didn't come with a
no,
cable?
it didn't come with a block heater. It didn't come
Really?
with it. It was the truck was ordered as an asphalt truck that was only supposed to work in the summer. So it had a whole bunch of weird things about it. That I would not have ordered it that way. But if we had ordered it, we would have paid 70 grand more for it. So sometimes you got to deal with a few headaches to save $70,000.
Yeah.
And I'm not emotionally attached to that. So I wanted to save $70,000. So it was okay. And anyways, so we went to this. My phone was ringing and it came up with the Kenworth salesman's number, which I had asked him for a quote like a month ago for a triaxle. And I thought that's what he was doing, following up on it. So I answered the phone, and I guess I must have like the Kenworth dealership number and his personal cell phone number registered on the same contact card. So he was this woman, and she's like, "Hi, it's Shelly from Kenworth." And I'm like, "Hey, Shelly from Kenworth." And she said, you guys have this unpaid bill with us. It's like $1,300. I went, okay, sure. I'm like, we don't have an account with you. Why would we have a $1,300 unpaid bill? Like when we leave, we would need to pay you, or you wouldn't release the truck to us. Well, no, we released the truck without collecting the money because I thought I'd just invoice you later. I said, okay, well, all of this sounds like a you problem, not a me problem, but okay. Continue on.
Yeah.
And she said, well, I've been emailing you this invoice for 2 months and no one's replying to my emails and no one's paying the invoice. And, you guys need to pay your bills. You need to start paying your bills. Like, and I went, okay, like sometimes we owe people 100 grand and we just pay them. Like how much is this bill? She goes, $1,300. I said, what, you think I'm like running to fucking Jamaica with your $1,300? Never coming back. I'm robbing the Kenworth Bowmanville dealership of $1,300. The truck was $300,000. You think I'm gonna screw you for $1,300? Like, what email have you been emailing this to? Because it's never come to my email, and I check my junk. And if it came to Kelly's, she would just immediately pay the bill. It's $1,300. And she says, wow, I've been emailing it to the main company email. I said, okay, well, that's mine. So whatever. I've never seen this. She's, well, I've been emailing it to the info@paverking.ca email over and over and over again. I said, that's fantastic, but that's not an email that we operate under, nor have I ever heard of. Well, I looked on the Google. And that's the email that comes up. And then I looked on your website and that's the email that comes up. I said, no, I don't know what the fuck that email is. And then I said to her, like, listen, there's a whole bunch of people online that pretend to be me. Like there's this guy in California that thinks he's the paver king. There's like Soil King. There's all these different kings. Everyone's fucking trying to be me. I said, I don't fucking know who created this website or where this fucking email came from. I don't know anything about it. I said, here, send it to Kelly's email. She'll pay you in 5 minutes. Don't tell people I don't pay my fucking bills because there's a lot of shitty stuff about me, but that's not one of the shitty things about us. Lots of other shitty stuff, but that's not it. So then I came home after being somewhat aggressive with the lady too about the whole email thing, which again, we don't have a credit account. So why would you let us take the truck without paying the bill in the first place? Moron. But, so I went on our website. It says contact us. I looked it up. And the contact email is info@paverking.ca. And I'm like,
Well, who put that there?
Jack. And the phone number is 1234567 I'm like, this potentially could be why we haven't gotten a lot of leads through the fucking website. This is a potential reason. So I called Jack. I go, hey, Jack, I'm looking at the email on the website. He goes, yeah, info@paverking.ca. I'm like, that's not an email, though. Oh, I was going to like put that on your phone. And then we got busy and we forgot. And I remember talking to him about it now. He's like, having an info@paverking email is probably a fucking good idea. It looks more professional than paverking1@gmail.com, which he's right. It looks way more professional. But, and I don't blame Jack for this. I think that Jack probably said, you need to meet me and I'll put this on your phone. And then I just got busy and totally forgot about it. And so I'm going to take ownership over this whole info@paverking.ca email extravaganza. And then he's like, I didn't think you'd want your phone number on the website, so I didn't put it on there. Fair enough. Except that that's how people call us and we get business. So I was like, yeah, no, you can put the phone number on. So he put the phone number on and he adjusted the email. And like he did it. And to me, looking at that problem is an insane problem to me. I'm like, ooh, the phone numbers and the email aren't right on the website. I'm going to wish it better. And I'm going to wish really hard that changes. Because Jack, I call him up. He's like, yeah, it's all changed. You're good. I'm like, well, we haven't even finished talking about it. He's like, yeah, no, it's done. I'm like, okay, cool, man. Because this would have been a really big fucking problem for me. This would have been weeks of my time to try and figure out how to change this shit. So the woman at Kenworth got paid. And now the email is my email at paverking1@gmail.com is the email on the website, which I think will probably help stimulate more leads from the website since it's the right fucking email and the right phone number. So, but those are the things you find out, I guess, when you don't pay your bills at Kenworth Bowmanville. And and Shelly brings the fucking hammer down on you for $1,300. Like,
I
would avoid that bill. Like she's literally acting like I would avoid it. I'm like, are you fucking crazy? Like $1,000 to fill the truck with fuel. Why am I avoiding this? Anyway, sorry, go ahead, Chad.
I had a GC reach out to me today. They were looking to contact me, but he says, you don't have your phone number on your website. I said, I don't need it. on my website. How do people call you? I try and make it difficult for people to get a hold of me. Like, why? Because we have enough work. He's like, oh, you do? I said, yeah, we're pretty comfortable with what we have. Like, oh, that's interesting. What do you want me to tell you? What do you
I
want me
don't.
to tell you?
I don't want your shitty work.
No.
If you don't know me, I don't want to work for you.
Yeah.
I'll call you. You don't call me.
Yeah. Don't worry. We get by just fine. Maybe there'll be a time when we don't, but for now we do.
For now, I don't need random people calling my phone.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, I don't know if you're a residential company or a commercial company. It's fine. Call me. What do you want me to tell you?
I don't care to know you.
Yeah. You have done nothing for me. You have given me no business in the past. You have signed 0 checks with my name on them.
I
So
don't give a fuck about you.
I don't care. I'm sorry.
What are
Perhaps
they?
that'll change one day.
Are they? What are using you to price check?
Probably. Wouldn't you? You
People
want,
do that a lot.
yeah,
Yeah, I agree
people
with
do
you.
that a lot. And that costs me money. It puts Jack in a nicer home, but that costs me money.
People price checking you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Or using me to price check someone else.
yeah. They're basically using you to price check their normal guy, especially if they never hired you before.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
We had someone call before. It's like, your prices are good. Thank you. We don't usually lose at home. Of course they're good. Do you think we
what does
don't?
that mean?
I don't know. I know my prices are good.
Your prices are good. We don't usually lose at home.
No, that I told him we don't usually lose at home.
Oh, I see. Okay, you said I don't lose at home, bitch. I
Yeah,
protect my territory.
yeah,
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
yeah.
Do you understand that when I log onto a Zoom call, it says success?
I swear I've changed it
There's a
every single
there's
time you
a
guys have brought it
fucking
up.
reason for that, you motherfucker. You better fucking acknowledge success.
Yeah.
Pure success.
You got to change it in the settings, Chad, before you log in or
Meeting
before you hop on the call.
I
settings.
created an AI picture of myself
I saw that.
on the Instagram for fun. Yeah, it worked pretty good.
Is that a
And
young Paver King?
I just typed in guy with beard, black dump truck, fucking, and then to be fair, I redid it about 3 times because I I typed in like the base course, dump truck, Paver King is all I typed in, and it did pretty good. Like it did pretty good, but then I was like, I don't really like this picture that much. So then I kept adding description, and then it had a really great picture that I really really liked, and it had a big chain and yellow sunglasses, whole 9 yards, looked amazing, except the guy was black because I had not been particularly descriptive of what the person looked like. And I was like, man, this is a great picture and I really like it, but it doesn't look like me. I don't want to culturally appropriate someone else's AI. So I then retyped it and then eventually came up with that picture. And then I honestly I kind of got bored of it. So that's the picture I used. But I feel like if I had spent another 10 minutes on it, I could have really ground it down to being really tight. Like that picture's pretty good. It just people are like, oh, is that a young Paver King? And I'm like, thanks. It gets so fucking old. Like, the fuck? I thought it was kind of cool though. I thought it worked out pretty neat. That's pretty neat
Was
how
that
it generates it.
was that what you do in the office when you want to procrastinate? Play with
Yeah.
AI? Yeah.
I don't think I was in the office when I did that. Yesterday was fucking terrible. It was the worst day. I was like, this day is fucking terrible. I am terrible at being in the office. I am terrible business owner. I just suck at it. I can't stand it. I can't. But there was shit that needed to happen. There was shit that had to go down. Tomorrow I got to quote a couple asphalt ramps. Temporary asphalt ramps. That's what we do now. We crush out one temporary motherfucking asphalt ramp after another, nonstop. So we quoted that. What else was I quoting? Oh, one of our bit one of our big one of the big companies we work for. They got a job really close to home that has 4,000 square feet of pavers in it. It's at a new park they're building in Oshawa. So that I was really excited about getting that job. And the PM that they assigned the job to, he also lives in Oshawa. So he was really excited about doing it because it's kind of cool to do, build a park in your hometown and participate in it and have your stuff down there. And, it's downtown Oshawa, so we won't be leaving anything overnight, but, you know, I was pretty excited about it. So far to start the season, we've lined up about we're probably close to 9,000 square feet of pavers we got lined up to start the season. So
Wow.
we got 30, we got 4 grand up in Georgina, and then we got this 4,000 down in Oshawa, and then we've got about 1,000 residential square feet at a job we're doing. So maybe it's like 600. I don't know, but it's a lot. I'm pretty excited about it. It's pretty cool. It's nice to have a bunch of pavers lined up like that. Be a good start. And the other one, we have all the base in. So hopefully if we get that 15, 20 mil of rain, it'll get the frost out of the ground and all the base is already in and installed. So we just need to, we built it up in the fall. It's inside a curb area. So we built up the gravel right to the top of the curb so they could drive Zoom booms on it all winter. So I'm hoping that will have sheeted some of the water off. So when we go, we can just cut out the gravel that we need, and then frost will be out of the ground, base is in, we can start laying pavers. It's kind of exciting. Be a fun, I feel like we're gonna have a good start to this season. Hopefully we can start to pick up some more work, and Nancy's doing the home show in Oshawa, so go down there. She's trying to get some more residential leads. We'll see how that goes for her.
Does she have like a full demo like booth, or is it?
No, she does like just a design booth. She puts
yeah.
up her boards and dresses up fancy pants, hangs out. She does it in the guild a lot down by where she lives too. So, yeah, I feel like we're gonna have, when are you starting, Mike?
I don't know. I'll have to wait till the snow is gone to start, but I've got about 2 months worth of work, and then we'll see what the spring brings for leads.
2 months is a pretty good start.
Yeah.
I gotta get, sorry,
No, go ahead.
I gotta get on that horn. I gotta get some advertising or something. I gotta get some quick little landscape jobs to start off before we get into like pool surrounds and shit like that and commercial stuff. Need a couple. I need 5 or 6 like 3 day jobs, 2 or 3 day jobs, little walkways, stuff like that.
Just to get people's blood
Yeah,
flowing.
yeah, to get the grease the gears and get the
Is that
confidence up.
is that before you or after you have the MMA fights for who gets what truck in the yard?
Probably after they're gonna need to get to work somehow. So
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go out and buy those, those big steel like job boxes.
Mm.
Get a couple of those because there's tools fucking everywhere in the back shop. Like, and there's pails with like hammers and scrapers and shit in them. Just like, there's got to be a better way.
We used to keep one of those in the back of the 1 ton.
I'm thinking like, the ones that have like fork pockets in them.
Yep.
You can
We
take
had we had those exact boxes in the
Yeah.
backs of we had them in the back of the 1 ton because Ridge Lake had all 1 tons. There's similar setup to you.
Yeah, they're so we'll put those in every dump truck that goes out, and there's almost always a skid steer or a mini there to take them off on the job, and then they have the tools close by, and
You could build one of those tool
Yeah.
dollies that you could order one from Swihart. Isn't
like
he
the
the one that
professional landscapers.
builds them? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could order one from Swihart and
I'm afraid of being too efficient. Because if we're too efficient, then the guys don't get the break of walking back to the tool trailer or the truck. And that'll fuck up my whole system. Because I base our rates on being efficient, but not too efficient. And that's all in my head.
Why not keep the same rates and increase the efficiency and increase your margin?
Um, in theory, that's a great thing, but it doesn't always work like that at NDL. So,
Well, you also don't have scheduled breaks. So having people walk back and forth to the truck probably cuts down on the need for absolute scheduled breaks. Whereas if all the tools were right beside them, they might start saying, Chad, listen, we got to have lunch and breaks because we're just here fucking pounding away all day. I can't even walk back to the truck to get a sip of my fucking orange vanilla pop, you know? Like, so you obviously, maybe you're right. Maybe you don't want it to be as insanely efficient as possible.
I think we got a good thing going.
I don't
Or,
think you got a great thing going.
you know,
You don't want to disrupt. You don't want to be a landscape disruptor.
Oh,
you know.
Chad, how did your call go with Scaperlean?
Um, I'm definitely lazy compared to a lot of business owners. This is NDL is definitely a non-conventional way to run a mid-sized landscape company that wants to go anywhere. Um, I got a lot of work to do if I want to.
After your call, were you more stimulated to try and build a company and sell it for 10 million or less stimulated to build a company and try and sell it for 10 million?
Um, there's just a lot of stuff that needs to change, so I guess it unmotivated me a bit.
You sound unmotivated.
Uh, yeah,
It's just your general voice tone sounds
Yeah,
unmotivated.
it went down there after I asked that question.
it's
It's sort
I
of
don't know. I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it helps a lot. There's some mental preparation that I have to do before I am ready for that. You
What kind
don't
of
just,
questions? Sorry, go ahead.
then there was no questions.
Oh, they didn't ask you any questions?
Well, how big is your company?
Oh, okay.
You know, stuff like that. What's your budget like? And I don't know what we don't have a budget. And what? You don't have a budget? No. How much? What did you do for sales and stuff like that?
Mm.
All that. But you don't just start off by running a marathon if you're gonna run a marathon, right? Like you train for a marathon. I got to do the training before I can put this program into effect or something. Like I don't know. It's not cheap either, which is another big thing. I'm not good at taking orders or taking commands or whatever, following protocol. I'm
mm.
good at doing things my own way.
That's where I think there is lots of business owners that are looking for guidance and mentally prepared to accept guidance. Um, but I don't like anyone ever telling me anything. I like to figure it out on my own. And even if it costs me more than it would cost me for someone to teach me, the theory being that no matter what it costs, it's cheaper than you having to learn it on your own, right?
Yeah.
But I don't I don't personally do well in those situations. I wish it's something if I could, if in a business sense, if there's something I could change about my personality, it would be to be more accepting of other people's ideas and to learn from more other people more. Um, but I don't do well with like that kind of protocol either. And if people ask me what my budget is, I'm more likely to be like, yeah, I don't need a budget. I'm gonna fucking prove to you why I don't. Like that would be my exact reaction to things.
I
I,
just
it,
don't want my entire career to be about spreadsheets and graphs and numbers. Like that is not appealing to me. Like I don't want to start down this path and all of a sudden I'm enveloped in a job that I don't like anymore because I'm just focused on the numbers all the time. Like I like being able to switch between Yeah, okay, we ordered this. Remember the trees for tomorrow, and we got to flip 5 pieces of equipment out to this job for next week, and these guys are scheduled here, and all that shit that is probably not conducive to growing a $10 million company.
Yeah, but do you get like back to where I am, where I'm like, I'm I am much like you. I don't like, obviously I don't like being in the office and I don't like all that stuff. And it I'm happy to just bumble through the way I am. And I think that what gets lost in the current climate of landscape companies, what gets lost in, if you pay your bills and you make profit and you're happy, that's okay. I think in the current climate, there's so much of a push to grow, and I don't think any of it's bad either. I don't think this is bad stuff, but I think that just saying, hey, like I like organizing the stuff getting floated out of the yard, and that's okay. And if you got to the end and all you did was sell off all your equipment and you had a lot of money in the bank, but you didn't like flip NDL to some equity investment firm, that's okay too.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. You can still be an accomplished person and have a really good life. The
Yeah.
happiest landscaper I know worked with him and one other guy for his entire career, and then they retired together. Never had more than him and one other guy. His entire career. Did really well. Has a beautiful house, Mustang, super happy guy. He's got to spend a lot of time with his kids. I know his daughter too. She's a really good person. Uh, that's okay. It has to be about you too, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not profitable to tell people these things. No one's gonna hire me to teach them a course on to keep doing what they're doing and bumbling their way through their business. There's no money in that course. Yeah, keep doing what you're doing. You're happy, you're paying your bills, you're making profit. Continue on, motherfucker. No one is gonna pay me $1,000 a month for that fucking advice.
Mm.
I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to do things the other way either. I think it's great. It's just, I think in the current climate, sometimes it gets lost that it's okay to be happy doing what you're doing and find personal satisfaction in it.
I wish I had the discipline to scale, to knuckle down and figure out the numbers and all this stuff. And in some ways, like I'm delegating, right? Like Jack is doing the estimating, and we're getting a truck driver, and we have equipment operators where I used to do that all myself, you know. Like so we are implementing some of what these programs would want you to implement to grow. It's just we got a lot of holes in the bucket to make ourselves a
The thing I don't
scalable company.
like, I have like Kelly and I have discussions, and I have like, I guess, a mental budget, but I feel like a budget is so restrictive. I would never want to have one. I think it just restricts it restricts your chances for opportunity. Like if you have an amazing opportunity that comes up in July, but you didn't budget for it in January, like what do you do about that, Mike? You're a big budget guy.
Sorry, say that again. I'm just putting out fires here.
So we're talking about budgeting and why I don't like it. And I don't think it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, I don't want to have a budget that constrains opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I feel like as soon as I think one of the reasons I've never been into creating a budget for your company is that I feel like you are pigeonholing yourself, and you are going to miss an insane amount of opportunity because you've pigeonholed yourself into this insanely controlled budget.
What's the opportunity you think you would miss?
Well, I'm saying like in July, like someone calls me and says, say someone calls me in July and they have a really good opportunity, but it's not in my budget and I got to buy 2 pieces of equipment. Currently, right now, I'd buy 2 pieces of equipment for that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're pigeonholed into a budget that you stay to, you're like, well, that's an amazing opportunity, could cause millions of dollars worth of growth, but I'm really sorry. I'll put you into my 2026 budget. Call me back. And that person's like, fuck you. I'll call someone who's willing to jump on this opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like I'll never be a budget constrained person, because I just think that you're just giving up so much in order to have that budget.
So the way I budget is a little bit different than perhaps others. In that case, I would add it to my budget. So I would update my budget, but we specifically don't budget for a sales goal. We budget for a break even. And then we add one thing that I know that we do differently than others is we add our net profit to like on a project by project basis, as opposed to saying this is our sales goal. We need to be able to spend this much in materials, this much in labor, this much in, we need to recover this much in overhead. And then to hit our sales goal, it's this much profit, which is like a multiple overhead recovery system. And it's something that I don't like and I talk a lot about. For me, this is our break even based on our budget. And if we do have an opportunity, add it to the budget. And then for a project by project basis, because every project is, variable in how much it's worth. So for example, like a word of mouth client to me who's not shopping around my quote anywhere, that's going to be more valuable than I need a job to start next week because I'm short on work or for whatever reason. And this client has like 3 other contractors that they're getting quotes from. Maybe I want to be a bit more competitive, so I'll lower my net profit. So I'm much more variable in my budgeting than what other systems allow for.
Yeah, I also might not understand exactly how budgets work too, because it's not. I think that, like anything in life, there's people who are naturally gifted at things. And for me, when I look at Chad and when Chad's talking about things, I always feel like Chad is a person who's naturally gifted at business. Chad, I'm giving you a compliment while you stare at the screen.
Yeah, I'm just some fucking GCs trying to tear apart my price. Um,
I'm just saying, I believe there's people who are naturally gifted at business, the same as there's people who are naturally gifted at playing basketball or hockey. There's people who are just see a bigger thing and understand how to make money, and no one needs to teach them how to do that and make money. And there's people who are born like that. They're good at business, same as they're good at playing hockey, you know? And
I
then
don't know if I'm good at
there's
business. I'm good at trying to get what I want.
you're good at making money.
Yeah, I I think I'm also really lucky too.
I don't think you're lucky.
I think I've been born with a fucking horseshoe up my arse or something.
I think you just capitalize on opportunities, like which is a compliment. Like you, especially going into commercial from residential, you'd recognize an opportunity, capitalize on it. And I think like a big thing with Chad is he's unemotional about decisions as well, which we talked about throughout this episode with his equipment and everything like that, which is a huge, huge positive.
Yeah, I would say of the three of us on this podcast, you're the most naturally gifted business person. Nothing against you, Mike.
No,
I'm talking to Chad.
Yeah.
Chad's the most naturally gifted at business.
Maybe. I don't know. Well, your company's bigger than mine in a shorter period of time.
That
You know?
doesn't mean that I'm making more money.
And Mike has a software that could explode at any moment, taking him to exponentially more money than I've got, you know.
I'm talking about being naturally gifted. That without having so many things in place, you just are good at making money. And some people are just really good at, like, the richest person I ever worked for. People used to debate if he was literate.
I give off that vibe, do I?
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he was naturally gifted at recognizing opportunity and take he is naturally gifted at recognizing opportunity and taking and working it to his advantage and making money. And some people just are. And
To
I think
be fair, before I had any money, I wasn't good at making money. It was a grind to make money, right? But
what was the turning point? When did you like what's the what like I you're saying that when I started it was a grind to make money, but then what was the moment when it turned and you started making money? Because that's interesting. What you're saying right there is super fucking interesting. It was a grind, and now since I've gotten to know you as what I would say we're friends,
yeah,
um, it you have never given off this is a grind to make money vibe to me once since we became fucking friends. So I'd love to know
so
when the switch flipped from the grind to the Chad doesn't give off the grind vibe. Fuck, I think I give off a grind vibe to make fucking money. I don't think you give that off at all anymore. What happened? What was the moment? Because that's worth a lot of money. What you're about to say.
the first 7, 8 years of natural design, we always were able to cover expenses. We made money, like we grow a little bit every year, right? For the first 7 or 8 years, I could not put $100,000 in the bank account. Like it was a 5-figure business. Like we would do sales of like two, four, 600 grand or whatever it was in those years. But to get $100,000 to stick in the bank account, impossible. After that, I think it took maybe 4 or 5 guys on the crew. Then the money, like you would have like 100 grand, maybe 120 grand in the bank, and that would stick, right? And then you get more comfortable making moves with your money, right? So that's the year that we bought a skid steer and an excavator on payments, but you weren't afraid of a $1,300 a month payment for a skid steer and then one for a shovel. And then that opened up opportunities for you because you can do things twice as fast or do jobs that were twice the size. So there's exponentially more opportunities to make money faster. So time goes on and you build more jobs with your skid steer and your excavator, and um, the machines get paid off, right? And the hardest thing you're ever going to do in landscaping is pay off your first machines because they're coming from nothing, right? Like you have no $40,000 down per machine, right? Like you're starting from this machine costs 90 grand. Here is my first month's payment of $1,300. And you're paying that off every month. Once those machines are paid off, you have like 50 grand in your back pocket that you can flip into the next machine, right? So every machine costs you less than your first machines if you're rolling over the equity and still keeping good machines. And then you get more machines and more guys. And all of a sudden, 14 years later, we got 500,000 in the bank. And somewhere along the lines, it got easier. I don't know how. It just did. But I can't pinpoint the second that I turned into a businessman from a landscaper.
Do you think of yourself as a businessman now and not a landscaper?
No. I tell everybody I couldn't fix the fucking toilet in the house. Like the chain came off the lever on the top of the bowl, and I couldn't figure it out, right? I'm like, I put the chain on this way, doesn't flick. Put the chain on this way, doesn't work. I'm like, something's fucked up here. Plumber comes in, said, "Hey man, can you fix the toilet?" Like, I'm just a landscaper. I can't figure it out. He's like, "Yeah, no problem." But I never say, "Can you fix the toilet?" I'm just a business owner. Like, still a land,
Yeah,
you know.
I
Um,
think I'll forever describe myself as a landscaper.
Yeah, I don't know. Somewhere along the lines, it just got easier. Well, it got, you don't fall as far whenever you fall into money. So you can take bigger risks. Or your risks aren't as big because you're comfortable knowing that you're not going to lose everything because there's still some money to fall into. And maybe that's what makes you better at business.
You're always better at gambling when you can afford to lose the money. If you go and sit down and play, and this is just my opinion on this, but when you go and sit down and play Texas Hold'em poker, and you're playing with $100, you can't fucking lose. You will lose that $100 100% because you can't play right. If you sit down with $100 that you can afford to lose, and honestly, 100% in your brain don't give a fuck if you lose, you can play the game right. And it's just a multiple of that. But what's sort of the same thing, what you're saying is when I had enough money in the bank that I could comfortably make a play and not worry about whether or not that play worked out or not, that's the moment when I changed my business.
It's, yeah, I don't know.
I think that's one of the things that makes it so hard to get out of a fucking hole. Because like we're
You get gun shy if you're in a hole.
100%. And you start to overanalyze everything and think about it too much. And like, should I be fucking doing this? And is this person going to pay me? And blah, blah, blah. Whereas like, it's like, okay, let's just fucking do it. Let's do this. And let's fucking get this done and let God sort it out. Like, and our business has been struggling for so long because we got in a hole. And to get out of the hole, I started thinking about decisions more than I normally would and maybe missed opportunity. But I feel like we are like this year we're going to certify the stuff and I'm not worried about what it's going to cost. Like it's going to be okay. We got good clients, we have great work coming up. We have good people, we have money. We just did a fuck ton of snow moving that we get to collect all the money from, in March and April when we really need money coming in. All that 30-day invoicing snow money is going to come in. But even like we just ran, there were some nights we were running 15 trucks. Now, 5 of them are ours, and those 5 don't have a crazy cost, but up to like 9 or 10 of them were not ours.
Yeah.
And a truck is generally worth $1,000 a night. So are we making something off those trucks when we send them out? Absolutely. We're making a small percentage off them. And when we talked about it we had a bank meeting, and when we talked about it at the bank, they were like, yeah, no, but that's really clean money. Because you send the truck out, you invoice for it, you pay them, you get the difference. Other than you don't have a lot of money tied up in that money. So making a little bit lesser margin is really good. But if this storm had happened last winter, I would have run my 5 trucks and I would have hired it but this year, because we had money, I was like, okay, the people we work for doing snow are really good people, consistent clients. We know they pay their bills. We've done work for them for years and years. So this year we had the ability to say, let's run 10 trucks that aren't ours tonight and make a small percentage off that. But it's a clean small percentage because we could afford to run the 10 trucks. And because those trucks need to get paid almost daily. Like we're talking about like
money. Like it takes money to make money, right?
and that's but and you're right, we just didn't have that option last winter. Whereas this winter we had enough money that I was like, okay, we can run up a $10,000 a night broker bill and it's not the end of the fucking world waiting to get paid for 3 weeks, or say we wait 30 days to get paid for that. If it's people I know we're going to get paid by, what we skim off the top every night is worth putting out the 10K in advance for, knowing we're going to get paid. But if we didn't have the money, you can't even do it.
Yeah. Your money's paying dividends based on your good decision.
Yeah.
Of keeping that money in your bank.
The reason that the people are coming out to work for us is because we pay them right away. And the reason why they're willing to take some points off their rate so that they fit into our side inside of our rate is because they get paid right away and they need the money.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. If you have money, it's easier to make decisions to make more money with the money.
We have a partner who we work with whenever we're full, like my main partner and I, whenever we are at capacity, we bring on a third for select jobs. We've worked with them in the past, and we brought them into our system of this is how we do things, right? We bill out our rates, and then whatever's left at the end, we split. That can be three ways at this point, right? And I've asked him before, I said, do you want to put it all in the pot and we divide the cream up afterwards? Or do you want your regularly billed hour rate where you make a little more? He's like, I want to go for the pot because it worked so great for us last time. Right? And that's a fucking wicked way if you can find people you trust to make good money with what's left over on jobs.
Yep.
But
Teamwork. I think we should end the podcast based on the teamwork. I feel like that episode was pretty chock full of good information too.
Well, this
the
was a good
worst
one.
hour.
Yeah. Racist trucks. Truck racism. What do they call them? A truck racist? There you
Yeah.
go.
Right.
So you guys are good?
Great.
Chad needs to get to bed. He's not past his fucking bedtime. We established that. Mike's
Yeah.
busy as fuck. He's got shit going on that no other landscaper on the planet has going on right now. And I'm old and still tired. So that's the end of the episode.
Thank you for watching. Ooh. Yeah, those people run the world. They're so impressive. What a bunch of freaks.